What is the primary function of Active Directory AD in a network environment? A. Managing user preferences. B. Providing email services. C. Managing digital identities and facilitating access to network resources. D. Internet content filtering. Correct answer: C. Managing digital identities and facilitating access to network resources. In Azure Active Directory, Azure AD, what is a tenant? A. A user subscription model. B. A dedicated instance of Azure AD for an organization. C. A collection of network resources. D. A virtual machine in Azure. Correct answer: B. A dedicated instance of Azure AD for an organization. Which protocol does Active Directory use for directory services? A. HTTP. B. SMTPC, LDAPD, FTP. Correct answer: C. LDAP. What feature of Azure AD provides a secure and user-friendly way for employees to access multiple applications using a single sign-on, SSO? A. Azure AD Application Proxy. B. Azure AD Join. C. Azure AD B2CD, Azure AD SSO. Correct answer: D. Azure AD SSO. In Active Directory, what is a forest? A. A single domain controller. B. A collection of one or more domains that share a common schema. C. A global catalog server. D. A security group. Correct answer: B. A collection of one or more domains that share a common schema. Which Azure AD feature adds a critical second layer of security to user sign-ins and transactions? A. Azure AD Identity Protection. B. Azure AD Conditional Access. C. Azure AD Multi-Factor Authentication, MFA. D. Azure AD Password Protection. Correct answer: C. Azure AD Multi-Factor Authentication, MFA. In Active Directory, what is group policy used for? A. Managing user data storage. B. Configuring network access control. C. Centralized management of user and computer settings. D. Monitoring network performance. Correct answer: C. Centralized management of user and computer settings. How does Azure AD differ from traditional Active Directory? A. Azure AD is primarily for Linux systems. B. Azure AD is cloud-based. C. Azure AD does not support multi-factor authentication. D. Azure AD cannot manage user identities. Correct answer: B. Azure AD is cloud-based. What is the global catalog in Active Directory? A. A database that contains all user account information. B. A searchable directory that contains information about every object in the directory. C. A list of all global administrators. D. A directory of all group policy objects. Correct answer: B. A searchable directory that contains information about every object in the directory. Which Azure AD feature allows organizations to manage and secure mobile devices accessing corporate data? A. Azure Information Protection. B. Microsoft Intune. C. Azure Security Center. D. Azure AD Application Proxy. Correct answer: B. Microsoft Intune. What does the Kerberos protocol in Active Directory provide? A. Email encryption. B. Secure user authentication. C. Data compression. D. Network routing. Correct answer: B. Secure user authentication. How can an organization synchronize its on-premises Active Directory with Azure AD? A. Azure AD Connect. B. Azure VPN Gateway. C. Azure Express Route. D. Azure AD Application Proxy. Correct answer: A. Azure AD Connect. What is the purpose of a domain controller in Active Directory? A. To control internet access for domain users. B. To host websites for the organization. C. To respond to security authentication requests within a Windows Server domain. D. To distribute software updates. Correct answer: C. To respond to security authentication requests within a Windows Server domain. In Azure AD, what is the purpose of conditional access policies? A. To ensure that only devices meeting organizational standards can access resources. B. To provide unlimited access to all users. C. To back up user data. D. To manage software licenses. Correct answer: A. To ensure that only devices meeting organizational standards can access resources. What is a trust relationship in Active Directory? A. A link between two users for file sharing. B. A feature that allows for automatic password updates. C. A link between two domains that enables users in one domain to access resources in another. D. A secure connection between a user and a domain controller. Correct answer: C. A link between two domains that enables users in one domain to access resources in another. How does Azure AD B2C differ from Azure AD? A. It is designed specifically for internal use within an organization. B. It provides consumer-facing identity and access management services. C. It does not support integrations with external applications. D. It is a version of Azure AD for backup and disaster recovery. Correct answer. B. It provides consumer-facing identity and access management services. In Active Directory, what is a tree? A. A standalone domain that does not trust any other domain. B. A collection of one or more domains and domain trees in a contiguous namespace, linked in a transitive trust hierarchy. C. A web-based management interface. D. A directory of printer objects. Correct answer. B. A collection of one or more domains and domain trees in a contiguous namespace, linked in a transitive trust hierarchy. Which tool in Active Directory can be used to manage users and groups? A. AD users and computers. B. Network monitor. C. Disk management. D. Event viewer. Correct answer. A. AD users and computers. In Azure AD, what is the purpose of the enterprise state roaming feature? A. To synchronize user settings across devices. B. To manage state configurations for enterprise applications. C. To track the location of corporate devices. D. To enforce compliance policies for roaming users. Correct answer. A. To synchronize user settings across devices. How is a domain in Active Directory defined? A. As a website hosted by the organization. B. As a collection of resources for a single user. C. As a structural unit within an organization's network that shares a common database and security policies. D. As a single wireless access point. Correct answer. C. As a structural unit within an organization's network that shares a common database and security policies.